Annyeonghaseyo and hello to each and every one of you. In today's video, I wanted to show you how to make another salt and pepper dish, and this one is going to be made with mushroom, specifically oyster mushrooms. Now this dish is super easy to make, very delicious, light and crispy, and full of umami. Great for any vegetarians or anyone that loves mushrooms. So let's just get to it and start cooking. Let's go. So here I have some oyster mushrooms. Now you can use other types of mushrooms that you enjoy as well, but oyster mushroom does a really good job when it's fried, so I highly recommend using oyster mushrooms. So I give the mushrooms a really gentle rinse, and then what we're gonna do is just peel the mushrooms into bite-sized pieces to your liking, like this. Once these are all peeled, we're going to set this aside and we're going to make the batter. So in a bowl, I'm going to add in some all-purpose flour, some cornstarch, a little bit of baking powder, some black pepper, garlic powder, some sea salt, and a little bit of onion powder. And then we're going to add in some cold tap water and give this a really good mix. And it should look something like this with the consistency. Once that's all mixed up, let's add in the mushrooms. And we're going to mix this really well until all the mushrooms are coated. And it should look something like this, a very light coating on the outside. So other things you need to prep before we start frying is to have your vegetables ready. So here I have some green onions that I slice. I also have one whole onion that I slice and some jalapenos as well. For the seasoning, in a bowl, I have some freshly cracked black pepper. I'm going to add in some sea salt and some garlic powder. Now you can also add a little bit of mushroom seasoning for extra umami. It's really optional. If you have it, you can add it in there, about a quarter teaspoon in there if you want to. Give this a really good mix and set this aside. In a really good non-stick pan, add in your vegetable oil. Any neutral oil will work, and we're going to heat this up to about 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm going to cook the mushrooms in 2 batches just because I don't want to overcrowd my pan. If you do overcrowd your pan, the oil temperature will drop and your mushroom will take a little bit longer to cook, and it can also get soggy. So you want to maintain a temperature of 375 to up to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to fry this for about 8 minutes. Stir it every once in a while. As you cook it, you'll start noticing less and less bubbles, which means a lot of the moisture are evaporating or cooking out. And after 8 minutes or so, they start to look something like this. Now you can cook it even longer if you want it even more crispier, but the longer you cook it, the drier the mushrooms will get. But this is pretty much good for me. I'm going to take this out and put it into a strainer. And then cook up my second batch. But this is what the fried mushroom looks like. The batter gave it a really light and crispy texture, and it's quite tasty already like this. So if you want, you can just snack on these fried mushrooms just like this. They're already tasty as it is. So while the mushrooms are draining, in a really good non-stick pan, I'm going to add in about 2 tablespoons of the oil that we fried the mushrooms in. We're going to turn the heat up to high and add in all of our vegetables. Give this a really good stir and just let this sit for about 2 to 3 minutes to allow the heat to give the vegetables some char. And then we'll give it a stir and cook it for another 2 to 3 more minutes, or until it's cooked to your liking. I do like the vegetables to be a little bit more on the crunchier side. So I'm going to stop here, turn off the heat, and then we're going to add in all of the mushrooms. Add in the seasoning and give this a really good toss. And this is pretty much it. Taste and adjust. You can add more salt or pepper in there if you want. Other than that, I'm going to plate this and enjoy it while it's still hot, crispy, and fresh. Now you can eat this by itself like this. You can eat it with a side of rice. I do like it by itself like this. It has so much umami. It's crispy. It's delicious with the vegetables, and just a great salt and pepper dish. So this is it for today's video. Give this recipe a try because it is truly a delicious one. Until then, I will see you in my next video.